What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone, and today I have a very special Banana Ball interview with the voice, the broadcast entertainer for the Texas Tailgaters, Brett Loftis. Brett, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. How was your Thanksgiving? And thank you once again.
Yeah, Jackson, appreciate you having me on, man. Yeah, I got to go back home, have some good time with the family, mom and dad, and all the dogs that it seems like now inhabits my home since I moved out. So it was good to see everybody. It was good to see everybody.
A side question to that, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. I'd have to probably. I love mac and cheese in general. Nothing touches my mother's mac and cheese. If I had to go, this is crazy. This is crazy. People may hate me for this controversial. I love jellied cranberry sauce. Unreal. I'm such a big fan of jellied cranberry sauce. I cannot have Thanksgiving nor Christmas without it. So I love me some jellied cranberry sauce.
I have to agree with you there. Outside of the ones that are in the can, jelly cranberry sauce is top tier, and it's very common actually around. I'm assuming you're located in Georgia, correct?
Currently,
Well,
yes, sir. Yes.
I am as well. I'm in Carrollton, Georgia as well. So, Georgia, it's very, very big in, jelly cranberry sauce here in Georgia. But I actually want to kind of get into about your career. Obviously, you have a long, illustrious career before Banana Ball. Fox Sports, Wisconsin, Rafters Baseball. What kind of drew you to Banana Land in your current position with the Texas Tailgaters?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, kind of been all over the world, or not world, but all over the country in my short career. Been very blessed to get to go to a lot of places and get to travel and live in a lot of different places. And so I had worked in Bismarck, North Dakota, worked for a television network up there called Beck Sports for roughly 2 years. And my talent agency, or one of the talent agency I'm a part of, Sportscaster Talent Agency of America. There's another guy who worked with me in North Dakota who's also part of that same agency. And I was working with Fox Sports Radio, doing sports talk stuff, and also doing some freelance and play-by-play with ESPN Plus back home in the Southeast. And he had hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, man," or actually, our talent agency had posted a thing, said nothing about the Bananas. Said we're looking for a young, enthusiastic, over the top, but in a good way broadcaster. And my buddy that I worked with in North Dakota had got on there and said, "Hey, man, it sounds a lot like Brett Loftis," and just commented that. So the guy over our talent agency, he texted me and was like, "Hey, Brett, this is what the Bananas, like, this is what this is. Like, would you be interested? Send me the application." Did the application. It took me about 8 hours to do it and really get it right. And I submitted that last December. Had my first interview with Jesse Cole in February. March came on what we call test drives. Came down to Savannah to a Party Animals Bananas game and did some things with some of the tailgaters and was at the game and just got to meet people and just get they got to fill me out. I got to fill them out as an organization. And then roughly a week and a half later, I got the job offer. Moved down here in late April and hadn't looked back since.
That's awesome to hear. You're 24, 25 years old. Is that correct?
24.
And you're
Yep.
24? That's an amazing career to have at such a young age. I've heard some of your stuff, man, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you can find Texas Tailgater stuff. Make sure to go follow them if you haven't already, by the way. Amazing stuff out there. It's awesome to hear the connections you made, early on in your broadcast career. And I kind of want to ask you a second fun question relating to your broadcast style. And I want to kind of curate it towards Texas and barbecue because Texas is famous for their barbecue. So I want to
That's right.
ask you, how can you describe your broadcasting style only using Texas barbecue words?
How many words do I get? I need a word counter here. How many we get?
Let's do four. Let's do four.
Four. Okay. I would say tangy. We'll revisit that one. We'll go tangy. We're just doing sauces, right?
Yeah, that
Let's
works
just
too.
do sauces. Tangy, sweet. Um, Gosh, what else are we gonna go with? Spicy and probably tangy, sweet, spicy, old school. So when I say old school, I don't mean that in the sense of like old school is in like old school or traditional. I just mean like old school is in like my dad, grew up watching a lot of TBS Brave stuff. So I take a lot of like from Skip Carey and a lot from Larry Munson, who's a longtime voice of the Georgia Bulldogs in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. The tangy man is a little bit of like, you eat something tangy, it's like, yeah, do I like it? Do I not like it? And I feel like that's kind of, when people listen to me sometimes, like it's one of those things where they eat it at first and then it becomes your favorite thing ever. And I feel like that's I want to win people over right away, but it's sometimes in my career it has taken a little bit longer than others. But a lot of people like tangy. Sweet man, I always try to treat everybody with respect, and I want to come across as the guy on air that just sitting on your couch, man. You're just watching the game with me. That's it, man. It's my job to prep them. It's my job to know them. But at the end of the day, you're just watching the game with me. And then spicy, man. I got some energy. It kind of runs hand in hand with the tangy, I guess. Some people don't necessarily like the over the top. Here in Banana Ball, they love it, and they really let me get to be me and let me get to go. So I'd probably use those four, man. Maybe Tangy's not the best looking back on it, but the other three, definitely for sure.
I would say that's a phenomenal four words to describe broadcasting style. I mean, you definitely embody the words of, I feel like it's the theory of banana ball, fans first. I mean, I love all the content that you put out there, man. It's truly enjoying. And I would say kicking as well. I mean, kicking's another word to
Maybe
describe
maybe
it.
we'll replace that one. That's the one that replaces Tangy right there. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what we'll do right there. Yeah.
kicking instead of tangy. I mean, I understand that. I mean, you talk about wild words and wild moments, and that relates to my next question. What's the wildest or funniest thing you've had the opportunity to call on air for the Texas Tailgaters in banana ball games?
Wow, that's good. Um, Probably it's probably a two-parter here. Um, First one that comes to mind is Houston, and it was one of my favorite moments of the year. So Ty Jackson, Savannah Banana, has never hit a home run in banana ball. He'd hit one in his CPL days with the Bananas back when they were a collegiate summer league team, but had never hit one as a professional in banana ball. And so this is just ironic how it worked out. Obviously, Biko Scow is the voice of Bananas, does play-by-play for every Bananas game, and Biko missed his first ever Savannah Bananas banana ball games in Houston, and they're playing the Tailgaters. So, I was blessed enough to get asked to call those games. And going back to before I ever started, I said if I'm ever in the booth and Ty Jackson hits a home run, I'm just gonna scream Pookie. That's it. That's the call. All right, we all call him Pookie. I love Ty, but I said this before I ever met him. I was like, I'm just gonna scream Pookie. Sure enough, Jackson, in the bottom of the first inning, second batter of my first ever play-by-play debut on national television, my national play-by-play debut, Ty Jackson comes up and cranks an 0-1 pitch to the Crawford boxes in Houston, Texas. And I just yell Pookie. And it was just instinct, just took over. And that was crazy within itself because it was like something that I had not told anybody about. It was only up here, and then it came to fruition, which was awesome. Um, what was the other craziest thing? I don't know. Probably when Drake Toll and I, the Party Animals broadcaster, got carried in by our respective teams this year. You have four grown men, maybe five, holding you in places that you wouldn't wish people would hold you in. And you're laying fully horizontal on top of them. And they're running with you, trying to beat the other team. And you're given two live mics, both going out on broadcast and in venue.
Mhm.
And try not to say anything bad, trying to commentate it. And that was rather interesting. I was one of the very few times in my broadcasting career I've gotten a phone call from my mother and going, Brett, don't let them do that with you again. And I'm like, why? She's like, I don't want you to die. So I was like, Mom, these guys are strong. She's like, no, that's a safety violation. So those are probably two of the crazier moments for different reasons that I had this year.
I had those. That's absolutely insane. A call and then crowd surfing with, you have to restrict yourself in what you have to say. I need to incorporate some Brett Loftis and when I call some collegiate baseball games for my final semester here at college next semester. I'll make sure to call one of the players Pookie and I'll say, shout out Brett Loftis for that one. But that's absolutely Absolutely insane. Now, I want to kind of more dive into the Texas Tailgaters 2026 season. I mean, you have returning guys like John Reed, Taylor Justice, Jordan Hussein, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of moments from the 2025 season with those guys. But which Texas Tailgater player is most likely to surprise you mid-broadcast with something absolutely chaotic or insane? And how do you prepare for something like that?
When you say surprise me, you mean in the game itself, or if we stuck a microphone on them?
In the game itself.
Yeah, because all these guys are going to surprise you if you stick a microphone on them. Man, that's a good question, Jackson. I would say, you know, it takes a certain type of ball player and human being to be a banana ball, encompassing everything, right? You talk about baseball, it's a five tool guy, right? And you know, the five baseball tools in banana ball, man, you got to be tooled up from a baseball perspective, but you got to be tooled up from a human being perspective. And that means you're humble, you treat people with kindness, you know how to go about your business, but then you got this flair, right? You got the, you know, you do something crazy. I would say, man, a couple different guys, honestly. Taylor did some stuff, threw in a couple of would drop off the feet this year. John Reed, man, has just got that closer mentality where he's just smoldering out there. Jordan Hussein, he will bust out the coolest and smoothest trick plays shortstop you've ever seen. Travis Munyo, man, just the swagger that he brings in a walk up and the surprise that you can see from him. Christian Davis, man, he's got, he was awesome to watch throw for us this year. Indiana Stanley, I was talking to him today, and how much he is going to evolutionize, if that's even a word, his trick plays from this year to next year. Zach Watson, I mean, always ripping back flips, right? Taj Porter, switch hitting catcher. Some of the throwdowns that he had this year and all that equipment, doing what he was doing. Jonathan Sunshine Looters got a hit on a unicycle while wearing a hot dog costume, proceeded to then eat a hot dog at first base, right? So that was incredible within itself. So, I mean, all these guys, dude, like they're so full of surprises. And then you look at the guys that we got back in the draft. Joe Sperone, he didn't give up a run last 2 months of the year, and you say that's a surprise, but in a great way, right? You don't expect a pitcher to not give up a run in the last 2 months of the year. And then Jimmy Lewis, I mean, that is just the biggest smile, biggest arm. And a guy, when we stuck a mic on him in Round Rock, was hilarious and also struck out the side. So I think each one of these dudes, man, they all bring something real special. Jason Arndt, he had a walk up this year where he sung to the plate, goes up, hits a home run, and then does a run celly with yours truly after rounding third. I mean, that's just insane. It's
Yeah.
insane to think about. Let's not forget Mac Danford either, my friend. I mean, one of the craziest Southern men you'll ever meet. I mean that in the most complimentary way of all time, the Macadoodle. So we just got such a great team, such a great group, glue guys of man. Each one of these dudes could surprise you with something. Mac Danford might be my final answer if I really had to give you one, but all these guys could surprise you with something.
It's great you have an all-around talented roster, an energetic roster, not just from, I guess, the baseball skills standpoint, but also personality standpoint. I mean, that's truly what puts it all into the work into creating this fans first amazing game that's not just a standard baseball game. I mean, it's entertainment. You talked about, carrying you and Drake Toll out on out onto a field and stuff like that. And I've heard some of Jason's music. It's personally on my playlist. So, shout out to him if he watches
Let's
this.
not
But
forget Trey Jones, who's coming back next year as
oh
well.
yeah, him
Trey
too.
Trey played the guitar in the band. It's the most ripped human being I've ever seen in my life. It's unreal. That guy takes his shirt off. The post is gonna go viral. Okay, it's gonna go viral if he takes his shirt off. Yeah, I mean, and he's also a good dude. So I mean, it's just unreal amount of guys that we have that are just awesome human beings, like you said, and just so well rounded, right? Like you can play ball, that's great. Like that's what's gonna get you here. What you're gonna stay here though is what you do, how you treat people in our organization, how you treat people, your teammates, but most importantly, how you treat the fans and how you can make those moments for the fans because, we have to be fanatical about the fan itself, the singular fan. And I think all these guys get that. And that's what really makes this group special.
I mean, it truly is a special group, and you talk about, all the returning guys, Taj Porter, for example. And I kind of want to ask you a piggyback question to that. I mean, obviously, you have a lot of new guys that you just got in the draft, that you recently just signed. I mean, Reese Miller, he's coming on the podcast in a couple days. Kyle Martin, for example, guys you got in the draft. Who are some rookies that you think people need to look out for in 2026 for the Texas Tailgaters?
Both of those guys. I mean, all three of them. I mean, Reese Miller had a 1.33 ERA last year in the Pioneer League, a league. Batting average leader hit 460. He was qualified hitter that hit 460. Reese Miller in that league had a 1.33 ERA, and just incredible stuff. I mean, going to come in and be able to pair him with John Reed in the back end of the bullpen is going to be incredible. Kyle Martin, funny enough, grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, about an
Mhm.
hour from where I grew up in upstate South Carolina. Played at the University of South Carolina during my time in middle school. Watched him. I watched him grow up. And, now at 33 years old, he's going to come play banana ball for the Texas Tailgaters, and I'm their broadcaster, right? Like that's so full circle moment. Jackie Bradley Jr. obviously playing with the Clowns, another former Gamecock, and so that's cool for me. I think both of those guys are going to be so tremendous next year. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Kyle Martin could compete for the MVP next year. I mean, we're talking about a dude who had 270, I think it was 4 career professional home runs. Like, dude mashes. So I'm very excited about him. I'm excited about, we got 3 guys that had banana ball experience in the draft, or excuse me, 4 guys that had banana ball experience in the draft. Brett Allen, Brett Sanchez, Joe Sperone, uh, Jimmy Lewis, and Tyler Riggett. So five guys who had banana ball experience previously. So 3 guys full time experience. The 2 guys in Brett Allen and Brett Sanchez with visitors experience last year. So then these other guys, these other 6 guys, all have professional baseball experience. I'm very excited to watch Jordan Barth, second round pick, watch him play up the middle. He can play any of the 4 positions in the infield. Chris Clark, man, our third overall pick. Gosh, that was a dude that going into the draft, I was pretty confident we were going to take him at 3, and then we finally got him. And he texted me the day after the draft. I was like, "I'm ready to go win a championship next year." And I was like, "Fire me up, man! Come on, dude." I'm very excited for him. Like I said, Kyle Martin. You mentioned Reese Miller, Brett Sanchez, Brett Allen, Tyler Riggett. Like we just got such a flooded group of guys. I think the one guy that everybody's overlooking is Jose Gonzalez. We took him in the 10th round. He was a 2020 CPL banana. Played at Texas State. Had 2 double-digit home run seasons there. Absolutely raked in indie ball. Played 25 games this past year in the Astros organization across 3 different levels. So we just got a bunch of dudes who know how to play ball. And I think that, our coaching staff, Joe Mikulik, Brandon Pennington, Andrew Bartman did a good job of vetting these guys personally. I think we're bringing in a bunch of great human beings as well. But, yeah, I don't think when you look at Kyle Martin, veteran coming in, I really think he could compete for the MVP next year. I really believe that.
I mean, that's absolutely awesome to hear. And I'll make sure I'll say Brett Loftis said that you're an MVP, like front runner. Like, what can you do to prove that? Especially in his first season in Banana Ball. And I'm super excited to see these returning guys and these new rookies mesh together in the 2026 Texas Tailgater season. I'm super, super excited to see that. Now, you say the words new, and I asked this to Coach Mark Crocco of the Loco Beach Coconuts. I've asked this to Noah Niznik, and I want to ask you personally. If you can add one banana ball rule that is specifically just to the Texas Tailgaters that's not already implemented, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's really good. I would say, and we kind of, this wasn't an official rule. I would make it an official rule. Okay. You have to have one standoff pitch every single game. So, we made it to Texas last year. We did the standoff pitch. And the only time we had a strike is the final time we did it, and Bryson Bloomer hits a grounder to Jordan Hussein after the standoff pitch is done. So, for those who don't know the standoff pitch, let's explain it. So, pitcher, batter, right? Starts an inning. They walk towards each other, halfway in between the mound and home plate. They turn back to back. They walk back. Crack of the whip plays. Pitcher, flip around, pitcher throws it, right? So we had 5 balls thrown in the first 5 headliner games last year. Andrew Mann throws a strike, 6 and final headliner game. Bloomer swings, hits a grounder. Jordan Hussein goes between the legs, trick play. Beautiful. I mean, it's banana ball, really, in essence. And I would say I would like to see one of those a game and implement that. And that would be my rule. We can do it at any time. It doesn't have to be a particular time, but I would want to see one standoff pitch game.
I mean, I think that would be an absolute phenomenal rule to add into. Especially, would you say, do you think it should be for all banana ball or just the Texas Tailgaters?
You said just the Texas Tailgaters. If I had to add one banana ball rule though, that had to be implemented, I haven't given a lot of time to it, but I would say the one that I would like to add. I mean, the equalizer point had been something I had already thought about that we had that we did in the postseason last year. So I hope that's continued. I think the value, the competitive value that adds for trick plays, I really enjoy that. Gosh, you know what? I would say I would allow guys who get walked in showdowns, put them on second instead of the chase rule that we currently have. I think that's what I would do. I'd put the batter if he draws a walk or if he gets hit by a pitch. Now, if he does get hit by a pitch right now, he does go to second. But I would make that the same. If he's walked or he's hit by a pitch, then he goes to second. So I like what we have with the chase rule, but that's what I would implement. And then obviously, if you walk another guy, you walk back to back guys, and then they would score the point there. So
I mean, I can definitely see that being implemented in banana ball, and well, obviously for the Texas Tailgaters. I guess I want to ask you this: you talk about new banana ball rules, and we talk about new things added in each year. I mean, one of the biggest things that I love watching during All-Star Weekend for MLB, personally for me, is a home run derby. Could you ever see a banana ball home run derby being implemented into banana ball?
I'm not saying this from a perspective that I know something. I'm saying this from a perspective of what I would like to see. Yes, I would love to see it. What we're doing right now, we're going and the past couple of years, we went to Clemson in 24, went to Clemson and Auburn this year for our all-star games. I would love to see, guys like Kyle Martin, Jake
Hmm.
Skoll, Reese Alexiadis, Andy Cosgrove, Dalton Cornett, Jackie Bradley Jr. next year, Tanner Allen, brand new coconut. Get to see those guys go out there, man, and absolutely mash. Like that would be awesome to see, dude. So yeah, I would love to see a home run derby. I think that would be very entertaining. I mean, this is my favorite part of Major League Baseball's All Star Weekend every year, even beyond the game. I think our game adds a lot more intrigue because it's the only time of the year you get to see guys from each team play together, and they're playing a college baseball team, right? So I think there's a little bit more added stakes, and it's. I mean, I'll say it. I think our All Star game's cooler in general than the Major League Baseball All Star game right now. But I think a home run derby would be awesome as well.
I mean, I would love to see a home run derby between Drake Toll, Brett Loftis, Biko. I mean, put the entertainers in there as well. I would love to see
Biko's
that.
winning it. I'm just telling you, Biko's going to win it. Biko's got the best swing easily out of the current broadcasters, and it's not even close. No offense to Drake. Josh Talevsky, we do play slow pitch softball, and Talevsky was our best player. So Josh Talevsky can rake, man. Don't get it twisted. That dude's a good ball player. But Biko would win the home run derby easily, and I'm not afraid to say that.
I don't know. I might have my money on Brett Loftis. We'll see. We'll
You're going to
see.
lose money. I'm just telling you, Jackson. You're going to lose money. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So you talk about broadcast entertainers, and I want to go back to the broadcasting route specifically for you. I mean, I want to add another fun one in there. I mean, I feel like you look like a guy who's maybe into Die Hard or maybe the Ocean 11 movies and stuff like that. I want to ask you if you could be on a full-time broadcast for a whole banana ball game, but you could only use movie quotes. What movie would that be and why?
Does it have to? Can I pick a TV show?
That works too, movie or
Or does
TV
it
show.
have to be a movie?
It can be a
Because I'll
TV
tell you
show.
what, if I can pick a TV show, this is the easiest answer of all time. But I'll give you two. I'll give you two. Forrest Gump will be the answer for my movie. Forrest Gump's by far my favorite movie of all time, just because of the simple fact that a great quote is if you can laugh, cry, and think within 2 hours of watching a movie, that movie is doing something right. And Forrest Gump is just the epitome of that for me. However, the TV show I quote on a daily basis, and there's just a superfluous amount of them. You can never run out of them. Like they've moved into my daily language now. Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I grew up on that movie or TV show. Excuse me. I've watched. There's 6 seasons of it. I've watched it through entirely at least 7 different times. It's by far my favorite television show ever. We used to record it on our DVR growing up, and that's all I would watch every single day. Like I didn't watch like regular television. Like to be honest with you, Jackson, I don't know a whole lot of TV shows or movies. I grew up watching sports. Like that's what I grew up doing, watching baseball, football, basketball. Big NASCAR fan, and so like that's what I grew up. And but The Fresh Prince was my TV show growing up. So I'd say either Forrest Gump or The Fresh Prince.
I mean, those are two phenomenal answers. Personally, I've never seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so I
Oh,
might have to
Jackson,
watch that. I might
hurt me one time. Listen, I
see.
know that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in the face, but that doesn't tear apart the show, man. I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you.
that shouldn't withhold me from watching it. I need to watch it.
That's
But
right.
Forrest Gump, I mean, how would you incorporate "Life is like a box of chocolates" into a broadcast? Can you do a little, you
Yeah,
know, stint for it?
the 0-2. Hussein, deep left center field, and it's gone. Hussein is first home run and banana ball. And you know, Mama always said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's absolutely awesome. That
That's
is,
it. There it is, Jackson.
I mean, as a
Jackson,
broadcast,
right now, let's put it out there. Jordan Hussein hits his first career. It'll be his first career home run ever across collegiate, previous professional, and banana ball. If he hits it this year, I'll bust out the "Life's Like a Box of Chocolates" line.
I mean, I need to watch that live for sure. I mean, hopefully I'll be down there as an intern in the summer. So hopefully, we'll maybe see that. I want to maybe see that happen live. I want to, I'm going to cross my fingers. But honestly, yeah, I think, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, again, I have to get into it, but Forrest Gump, yes, is a great movie to choose from. Now, I kind of want to ask you a little bit more on the broadcasting side. I mean, obviously, you've had a lot of guests come through Banana Ball. I mean, you've seen the Backstreet Boys in previous history. John Cena, for example. Personally, for you, on a broadcast table or team, if you could choose one other person to do your color or play-by-play for the Texas Tailgaters, who would it be and why?
Um, if I'm choosing off of personality, I think Matthew McConaughey would be sick to be my analyst for a game. You know, we're not playing at UT next year, playing at Texas A&M. But if we ever got to go to Austin and I could have Matthew McConaughey in the booth for an inning, that'd be sick. That'd be real sick if we got to do that. If I had to go from a broadcaster, man, that's a good question. I'd probably say I would love the opportunity to work. Um, love the opportunity to get to work with Chipper Jones. He was
Hmm.
my favorite. He was my favorite player growing up. He'd be awesome to work with. Or Derek Jeter. I was never a big Derek Jeter guy growing up. I read his book a few years ago, and just mentally how he approached the game and how he approached life, I think is really helped pay dividends on my career after reading that book and taking a lot of mental notes away from him. And you know he's doing really good stuff on Fox right now for them on their pre and post game shows. So I would say, yeah, I think McConaughey would be awesome to have in the booth for a game. We did get to have Roger Clemens for half an inning this past year, and that was awesome. I mean, arguably the greatest pitcher of all time. And so that was one of those like if you'd asked me this question a year ago, I might have would have said Roger Clemens, and then it happened. So maybe we'll get McConaughey in the booth at some point next year. That'd be awesome.
I mean, he'd be like, all right, Brad, you ready for the Tailgaters game? I mean, yeah, I mean, we could see Matthew McConaughey and Brett Loftis team up in the future, maybe in 2026. I would love to see that happen. And Chipper Jones, another phenomenal, great pick for a broadcast partner. Personally, I'm located in the Georgia area, but I grew up in Southern Illinois, so I'm a Cardinals fan. I mean, I have nothing against the Braves. I have nothing against the Braves, but I love, a lot of Braves fans when Chip Carey's son came to or transferred over to the Cardinals. That's the one thing that the Cardinals are ever going to have over the Braves is the broadcasting. I mean, you got Brandon Gaudin out there, so I mean,
Yeah, I mean, personally, I love Chip Carey. He's awesome, and he's doing really well for the Cardinals now. But I do love me some BG, man. You know, his one-liners and off the cuff stuff he says, like traditionally speaking, a lot of people may not like it sometimes. He does it so nonchalantly. I love Brandon Gaul's one of my biggest inspirations. Truthfully, I love listening to him. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say one or the other. I like Brandon though. I'm a big fan that he's the voice of the television voice of the Braves now.
I mean, both phenomenal picks. And Brett, I personally have two more questions for you before we wrap up this interview. I want to ask you, I mean, you've probably had a lot of great fan interactions, either before, during, or after the game, during a banana ball game. Is there one that sticks out to you that, you can think of during your banana ball career thus far?
Yeah, I think um, the most special moment I probably had was it's obviously always normally going to be with people that you know, but the the one that I didn't know, and it just was a true fan was Miss Shannon. She watches every broadcast. Was always in the YouTube comment section, and she had DM'd me on Instagram and had asked me if what was my T-shirt size, hypothetically speaking. And she actually brought me a shirt. She came down to Savannah during the playoffs, and it brought me a shirt, and it said it had "I'm Brett Loftis, voice of the Texas Tailgaters," which is what the guys they screamed the whole year, and people would do mock me or try to do impressions of me or whatever. So that was cool. That was really neat. And she was obviously a big fan of broadcast, big fan of Banana Ball, and got to meet her and her daughter, and that was cool. I mean, obviously my mom and dad aren't fans, but the coolest moment of the year for me was they got to come to Pittsburgh. And my dad always grew up wanting to play Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, things that go right in his childhood, and ended up, didn't get to play after high school, and still had a good job. Was a police officer growing up, and is now retired. And that game was on national television. Those games in Pittsburgh, and they got to come up there, and I was obviously a part of the broadcast, and signed a ball for my dad. So welcome to the show, and gave it to him. And when I was at home for Thanksgiving, he's got like two things of sports memorabilia in our living room, and he's got that banana ball sitting up in there, which is I hadn't been home obviously, and that was cool. That was neat.
Those are awesome moments. I mean, that's kind of what we do as media content creators, and hopefully to get into it's for the three F's. And I like to say for the three F's when I do these interviews: friends, family, and fans. I mean, the most important things, especially as a guy in banana ball, as a broadcast entertainer, it's what you do it for. I mean, everybody out there, and it's very special and very sentimental moments. And I appreciate you sharing that with me, Brett. Now I have a final question for you. One more fun question relating to Banana Ball. I mean, if you got to design the perfect Banana Ball theme night personally for you, maybe either a playoff game, regular season game, what would it be and what would you call the game differently? How would you present it if it was hosted by Brett Loftis?
Um, I think everything we do well. I think everything we do right now is well. I think it would be a Texas Tailgaters home game. Um, and we would be the home team. It would be our show from an entertainment perspective. Um, it'd be a championship game. We'd be playing the Party Animals, and we'd win the Banana Ball Championship League in 2026 and win the inaugural BBCL Championship. I think that would, I'd be doing play by play. Drake Toll be in the booth, being my analyst, and um, I think that would be perfect. Drake and I got to work together so much this year just because the Tailgaters played Party Animals so much, and I think next year with the six teams, right? It's evenly split across the 61 games that all six teams are going to play with their opponents. So I think I would love to see. I mean, quite frankly, I wouldn't care who they beat, but it would be neat after we played them so much this year. They won the championship this year.
Mhm.
If we played them in the championship game next year, and we were the home team, and Drake and I were on the call, and we won it. I guess that would be my ideal night. But if Biko and Josh were on the call or whoever it was, as long as the Texas Tailgaters won the championship in 2026, I wouldn't care. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. That's my ideal night, man. I mean, I was so fired up for the playoffs this year, and everybody had a shot, and obviously came up short. But I think going into next year, team we have, we can win a championship, man. That'd be my perfect night. I can't give you much more than that. I really can't. That's my ideal night.
I mean, I'm super excited to see it, and I think that would be a phenomenal, ideal night from the talented roster you have, from the personalities, baseball skills, to obviously the phenomenal broadcast team the Texas Tailgaters have. And I'm super excited to see what's in store for the future for the 2026 Texas Tailgaters. But Brett Loftis, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to do this interview, and I hope to reconnect soon in the future. This will be up within probably the next 30 minutes, most likely. I edit fast, not to toot my own horn. But Brett, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this.
Yeah, Jackson, man, you're doing a lot of good stuff. I think to be a young man still in college, it's very important, as you mentioned, to make connections and reach out to those people currently in the industry. It's something that is very commendable, and obviously something that's going to take you a long way. So I appreciate you for having me on, man. It's a blessing, and I always appreciate it.
I truly appreciate it, Brett, and I hope you have an amazing day, man.
Thank you, sir.